This is the best sprint battle I've seen so far in 2025, so let's just hop right into it. This is stage 3 of Étoile des Bessages. We all know how bad my French is, so I'm not even going to try to repeat that, but this is the same stage where 54 riders in total abandoned the race completely due to safety concerns. Go watch my latest video on that if you want to see what happened, but I'm going to fast forward us to the 3K to go mark. We've got FDJ Sprint Train setting up their sprinter, and Arnaud Delis latched onto his wheel. Very wise decision from the 22-year-old sprinter from Belgium. I've talked about Arnaud a few times on this channel. He is going to be a star. It's really just a matter of time. But for some reason, he hasn't got a lot of the spotlight or coverage, and he has beaten some really big names. He also has a YouTube channel now, and I'll leave a link to that in the description of this video if you guys want to check him out. But getting back to the race, we also have another big name here, Arnaud Demar, who has won some big races as well in his own right. So let's just get down to business. We got Delis latched onto the FDJ train, and his goal is simple: maintain that wheel to the finish, so he can essentially use this train as his own lead out, because we know at Lotto he doesn't necessarily have the greatest train, no disrespect to the riders on that team. So he needs to protect his positioning from the other riders that want that wheel as well. And we can see at 2.9K to go, he's able to do that successfully. Now, while he's doing this though, he also needs to keep an eye out for Arnaud Demar. So he has got to balance these two things at once while moving at high speed. And we can see Demar here as his teammate comes up alongside him, telling him, hey, get on my wheel. I'm sure he said it in French, but we know how bad my French is, so I'm not going to even try to say that. But anyway, he wants to escort him up a little further. And as Demar is moving up, we see one of the FDJ lead out men pull off. So that leaves the FDJ sprinter with 2 men in front of him, and essentially gives Delis 3 lead out men in front of him, while Demar is down to 1 lead out man unless he can get himself into a better position, because it is still way too early to just be riding in the front of the peloton as a sprinter. So as Demar passes here on the left, I can guarantee that Delis sees him, and now he has Demar marked. So it's game on from here, and this is where sprinting gets fun and basically becomes like a moving chess match playing out before our eyes. Now, Demar is able to move up, Demar is able to be moved up further to try and latch onto this FDJ train, and at the same time, Delis starts to lose the wheel of the FDJ sprinter that he's been trying to hold on to. The FDJ train then shifts to the left, basically hand delivering that wheel to Demar, but Delis is smart enough to put on the little jets and come over the top of the rider that caused him to lose that wheel in the first place. So now we got a 1v1, Delis against Demar. Delis makes the first move to try and edge Demar off the wheel as Demar leans back and does the same. Then again, Delis nudges Demar, tries to work him off that wheel and work his way onto the FDJ sprinter's wheel, with Demar boxed in and not able to counter that. So now Demar has a decision to make, or a series of decisions to make. So let's think about the finishing straight first. It's not technical, it's straightforward, and there is a strong tailwind. So he can, one, either just use Delis as his lead out man now and try to come around him in the sprint, which would be very difficult because Delis is a high caliber sprinter. He can try to get that wheel back, which would also be tough with the position he's now in. Or lastly, he can try and go early, get the jump on Delis. So as FDJ winds up their last lead out man for their sprinter, we see Demar chooses that last option. He sprints into the gap of the FDJ lead out to try and get some speed, then fully launches his sprint. Delis sees this and responds immediately, and simultaneously you also have the FDJ sprinter launching as well. So this is just a flat out drag race with the tailwind from here. Delis is going to have to come around the FDJ sprinter and close the gap to Demar, who got the jump on him. It turns into a neck-and-neck sprint to the line with Delis getting the dub. I think this is a great win for Delis early in the season against a high-caliber sprinter. Really hoping this is the year he gets some more coverage and a stage win at the Tour de France after a strong first-year showing last year. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.